Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're delighted to be joined over the phone by Engineer Mohamed Sheta, international automotive expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you?
How are you, sir? Engineer Sheta, automotive. Now, how do you see the importance of the TransMIA conference and the exhibition that was inaugurated today by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli?
Well, of course, it's a very important exhibition, and the fact that transportation is nowadays the most important key pillar of any development in any country in terms of economic development as well as export possibilities. Therefore, it is a very important exhibition for Egypt, especially in this phase where we are not only developing the infrastructure of transportation in Egypt, but also in the terms of attracting foreign investors in all segments and sectors in general, and especially in the sector of transportation as well. And therefore, the timing of this conference is very important for the Egyptian economy, and therefore it is definitely a very important exhibition, as well as not only for Egypt but for the region in general.
Yes, well, Engineer Sheta, how important is it for Africa and the Middle East region to develop the transportation field?
Well, as I just said, it is extremely important. If you look, for example, at some industrial nations like Germany, for example, they have some of the best transportation networks, which enabled them to become world-class leaders in exports. So any country which wants to develop its economy and especially also increase their exports in any sectors, they need to have a good infrastructure and a good transportation network. This includes roads for heavy goods vehicles. This includes, of course, a railway system. This includes also river shipping, for example. So I think this is very important for Egypt to have such a conference now, and the participation, of course, of all these different international companies shows how important Egypt and its location and its potential is for these foreign companies, for sure.
Yes, sir, a Cairo-Cape Town road was scheduled to be inaugurated in 2024. Now, how do you see the development of this project?
Well, of course, you know that South Africa is one of the strongest economies worldwide, and definitely one of the strongest economies in Africa as well.
Yeah.
So having a road connecting Egypt with South Africa is definitely very helpful for both countries, and which will also enhance and increase the trade between, not only between these two countries, but between all the African countries next to this road as well. So, and which will be crossed by this road as well. So this is definitely a very important project, and I think it will be very beneficial not only for South Africa and Egypt, but also for the African continent in general.
Right. How would you list in priority the benefits from inaugurating this road, the Cairo-Cape Town road?
Well, first of all, the importance is, of course, increasing the trade between the nations, between Egypt and South Africa primarily, but also between all the other countries through which the road will be crossing. This is one thing. The other thing is this will also help and convince other foreign companies to come invest in this region. In this region, in this region, I mean in Egypt, in South Africa, also in other African countries, because, as I said, the most important thing for foreign investors is to have a good road infrastructure which would enable them to export the product to any location. So
Yes.
having such a road project will definitely also attract foreign companies to come invest not only in Egypt and in South Africa, but also in other African countries as well. And
Yes.
of course, it will make it easier to travel between these countries as well. So this is also definitely a very important point for the inhabitants and for the people living in those countries and in this region.
Yes, Transmea 2023 is held under the title Nationalizing Transportation Industry in Egypt. Now, how would this step to nationalize the transportation industry impact the Egyptian economy?
Well, we have seen a lot of companies which were exhibiting at the conference that they started their local assembly and their factories in Egypt. So this is the first step into nationalizing this very important industry. As you know, the transportation and railway industry is a very important and a very heavy industry. So starting to assemble the train wagons as well as the trains themselves and all the components of these vehicles is very important because it will save us a lot of hard currency, which
Yes.
we are in desperate need of saving.
Sure.
And it will also enable us to, of course, create more jobs inside Egypt as well. And third, but and last but not least, it will also help us to export these products and these components to other African nations and also possibly to other countries outside Africa as well.
Right. With over 350 companies from 50 countries taking part in Transmea 2023, how do you see the weight given to Egypt as a hub for showing transportation technology development and why?
Well, of course, the number is quite significant, especially during this time. As you surely know, during the past couple of years, due to the corona crisis, a lot of conferences were canceled. So having such a conference now with such a huge number of exhibitors is definitely a very good sign for the Egyptian economy. It will give confidence not only to other companies in this sector, but also to other companies in other sectors as well, to have a look at Egypt. This shows how important the Egyptian market is in general, and it also indicates the potential which the Egyptian market has. Not only the potential the Egyptian market has in the transport segment, but also definitely in all the other segments which rely on the transportation segment as well.
Right. For the first time, a platform is allocated at Transmea 2023 to show innovations by youth from Egyptian universities and technological schools. Now, how do you see this move?
Well, innovation is definitely a key step into developing any sector, especially since the R&D, the research and development of the transportation sector is extremely expensive and very money-consuming. So it's definitely good to have a platform for the young Egyptian youth where they can exchange experience and where they can exchange the knowledge with the companies in the sector. I think this is a very good step, not only for the companies, but especially for the youth, to get in touch with the international companies, see how they work, see what training possibilities they have, where they can develop their skills, or where they can have training in these companies abroad, and then later on come and implement this knowledge which they gained abroad here in Egypt and in the Egyptian factories and the local assembly factories as well. So it is definitely very, very important to have such a platform for the young youth. And I hope that also in the next conferences we would also have a platform for the importance of the road safety features. Not only because, as you know, transportation is very important and road safety is equally important. Egypt has invested billions in the road network and road infrastructures during the past couple of years. We have had significant improvement and a huge increase in the number of roads and bridges constructed over the past couple of years.
Yes.
And what we need to do now is also improve the road safety on these roads, the road safety of the vehicles, which will ensure the road safety of all the road users. You surely remember we had a couple of days ago, we had a huge accident on the Cairo-Alexandria Desert Road with lots of fatalities, and I think this is something which would bombard and jeopardize the significance of these new roads and these new constructions. So this is why it's very important to set new rules for the active and passive safety features for all the vehicles imported from China, from India, from abroad, and also for the cars and vehicles which are locally assembled, both the commercial vehicles as well as the passenger cars. And I think this is the next very important step which the government has to tackle. Because they have invested so much money and put so much effort in a very successful and very impressive road network and road infrastructure. So it only would be fair to also increase the safety of the cars using those roads in order to benefit from these roads 100%.
Right. Sir, how does the development of the transportation sector impact the economic and trade sectors?
Well, it is very important, especially transportation, both the public transportation as well as the individual transportation is very important. When you have so many new cities, like the new capital, the new administrative capital, for example, you have so many cities like the new Cairo, like 6th of October, for example, and you want people to go and live in these cities and work there. So you need to have a good road network. This is one thing. The second most important thing is also you need to have affordable transportation. You need to have both affordable public transportation as well as affordable individual transportation. Of course, due to the dollar exchange rate, of course, for example, car prices have increased significantly during the past couple of months. Nevertheless, the Egyptian government has also initiated the new car initiative for Egyptians abroad. And this initiative enables the Egyptian expats and the Egyptian nationals working abroad to import cars, brand new cars as well as used cars up to 3 years. And I think this will, for example, help very much in reducing the car prices in Egypt and automatically also reduce the transportation cost of the public transportation possibilities in Egypt. So I think it's it goes hand in hand, all these developments.
I would like to thank you very much, Engineer Mohamed Sheta, for your insight. And dear viewers, now we move on to the our last report, the Cairo Light Transit System links Cairo to the new administrative capital with an initial 70 kilometers route. More details.
The Cairo Light Rail Transit, or Cairo LRT, is an electrified regional rail system linking the city of Cairo to Egypt's new administrative capital and the 10th of Ramadan city. An initial 70-kilometer route consisting of 12 stations was inaugurated on the 3rd of July 2022. Albeit being dubbed a light rail, the system is not a light rail in the sense the term is commonly used among transportation